Kawhi Leonard is toward the top of the list of players that I was sad didn't get to play this season, mainly because he's one of the best players in basketball, but also because he's one of my favorite players of all time. He's very fun to watch, he's a very interesting personality in the way he carries himself on and off the court, and he's worth talking about in a video even if he didn't play a single game this season. Kawhi Leonard is one of the best shooters in basketball, and I'm not just saying that because he's a good 3-point shooter, he's a great shooter in general. He's one of the best mid-range shooters in basketball. Last season, he shot 44.7% from the mid-range area on 4.3 attempts per game. He also shot 39.8% from 3 on 4.9 attempts per game last season. He shot 47.8% catch and shoot looks on 3 attempts, 2.4 of those attempts were from 3, and he shot 43.3% on pull-up shots on 8.6 attempts per game. He's uber efficient as a shooter overall. He shot 44.4% on his jump shots last season, did that on 11.5 attempts per game. Plus, he has great versatility in his shot profile with plenty of off-ball and on-ball shot-making moments, and he has good footwork which helps with his self-creating. He can really just do it all as a shooter, and when you add the other areas of his game, it's really impressive to see that this is a standout skill for him that may not even be his biggest standout skill. Kawhi Leonard is also a very good slasher. He's been described as one of the strongest players in basketball by his peers, especially at the wing spot. He shot 75.1% in the restricted area on 3.7 attempts per game. He shot 50.2% in the non-restricted paint area on 4.5 attempts per game. He shot 63.5% on 2.6 layup attempts per game. He has very good touch around the basket. He's more than capable of finishing above the rim with thunderous dunks. He also has very good footwork, which, like with the shooting ability, helps him with the creating side of things. Kawhi is also a pretty good defender. He's not quite the defender he was in his prime, but then again, in his prime, he was one of the best defensive players in the league, and I'm not going to go as far to say it, but you could argue one of the best defensive players of all time. But he's still far from a liability. We'll see how it returns with him coming off the ACL, but I still think he's very serviceable on defense, and I do think that the ACL injury won't affect it as much, but then again, we'll have to see. Plus, we saw in the last playoffs before he got hurt, he can turn it up when he has to. Overall, when healthy, I believe Kawhi Leonard is one of the 5 best players in basketball. He's an elite scorer with elite skills and high-level efficiency. He's a good passer. I didn't really have much to say about his passing, I'm not gonna lie, but it's very clear that he's a good one. And he's still a pretty good defensive player, even if he wasn't what he once was. Plus, he has a mindset that really intrigues me, and it really is something that I enjoy when it comes to his on-court demeanor. Kawhi reminds me of Kuro from Hunter x Hunter, Itachi from Naruto, Baraka from Black Lagoon, and Zerif from Fairy Tail. You might be wondering why he reminds me of anime villains. Well, part of this is because I believe Kawhi Leonard is everything you look for in a basketball villain, and why would I not compare him to villains if I think that he's a villain? He's quiet, he's calculated, he does everything to make your favorite player's life miserable on both ends of the floor. Now, you might have to switch out the part where I mentioned him making your favorite player's life miserable on both ends of the floor, with something to do with how the villain treats the protagonist, but other than that, I believe he serves a lot of the same qualities that every villain I mentioned has. He carries himself with a calm, almost emotionless personality when he's on the court. If you don't look at the box score when you tune into the middle of a game, you can't tell if he's somebody that's having a 40-point game on really good efficiency, or he's shooting 4 for 15 from the field, because no matter what, he carries himself with the same body language. He doesn't get flustered by much of anything outside of a few foul calls or lack of foul calls, which what player doesn't do that? He has an ability to be a cold-blooded killer in the clutch that demoralizes opposing teams. And you might be wondering again, how does this make him a villain if he's not overly hated as a player? The thing is that you don't have to be completely hated to be a villain. People like villains just as much as they do heroes sometimes in stories, and Kawhi fits a lot of the things that make a villain in my opinion. When your team faces him, it's scary because he's that good and can make your favorite team and favorite players look terrible when he scores on them on one end and locks them up on the other end. Now, for the fans of the teams that have to face him on a night-to-night basis, it may not be fun to watch. But for the fans of teams that have a player like Kawhi, and fans that may not have rooting interest that happen to be watching, they may enjoy this. It's the same way that Trae Young is a villain for the city of New York, but for the rest of us, it's kind of fun to watch. I feel the same way about Kawhi. Basketball can have its villains. In fact, I believe basketball villains can be fun to watch. They can even be your favorite players. I think some people believe that being a villain is always a bad thing, and that's not always the case, especially in something as harmless as basketball. Basketball, in my opinion, needs its villains if it's gonna have its heroes and its poster childs. And while you may not view Kawhi as one, I do view Kawhi as one. And honestly, the way that I view Kawhi as this villain, in a way, probably makes him one of my favorite players to begin with. I'll admit, I like villains a lot. Maybe a bit more than I should. Villains usually end up being some of my favorite characters in series that I watch. It usually sucks me if a villain doesn't end up in the top 5 of my favorite characters from a show when I finish it. And that's something that I also believe with basketball as well. Even if it's against my own team, I somewhat enjoy it, like with LeBron. I enjoyed Kevin Durant becoming the villain when he joined the Golden State Warriors. I enjoyed Trae Young being the villain in New York. I enjoyed earlier this season when Steph Curry became an absolute maniac during his hot start. I understand that not everyone is going to enjoy this, but for me, I enjoy this aspect not only in storytelling but also in sports, and in this case specifically basketball. And I felt like Kawhi Leonard was a great player to explain my enjoyment in this concept, because he is a cold-blooded killer on the court with a demeanor that is very terrifying. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, do all those things, be a big help to me. I really appreciate all the support that you guys have given me. Thank you for 1,000 subscribers. We're on that road to 10,000 subscribers now, and I'm really excited. I think we could hit that by the end of the year, and the support has just been incredible. Can't thank you guys enough for that. Be on the lookout for more videos in the future. If you have time, you haven't already, go check out another video on this channel. There are other videos like this, so I think you would enjoy that. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.